Okay guys, we're going to talk real quick about squatting. The first thing that we're going to demonstrate with you today is specifically front squatting. So with this description, what we're going to talk you through with a front squat is going to be the barbell in a front rack position. So out of the rig, the athlete would step into the rig, getting a good front racked position. The bar, as you notice, is braced to the front of the body, right to the top of the shoulders, elbows pointed forward. With a good squat stance, feet just outside shoulder position. They break at the hips, descending the hips back and behind them, and then coming down to a position where their hips are below the tops of their quads, and then extending and driving back up, again leading with that front rack position. So now the athlete will do the same thing, just 3 reps at full speed. So if you're new to squatting, or especially a movement like a front squat, take some time and really practice working some of that shoulder mobility into your warm-up before you start getting into this braced position. And then again, try not to go too fast and dropping into that descent. Really want to feel that body tension as you get to depth and then come back up. If you're still working on some mobility into your hips, only go as far down as you're able to keep a good posture and position with that bar on your front rack position. Go ahead and run. If you are still working on mobility and you're trying to work on that front rack position, let's talk about just squatting with open equipment. One way you could do that is by squatting with, say, kettlebells or dumbbells, say, away from the rig where you don't have to have that strong front brace position. So here we have the athlete that's going to take the same points of performance, this time bringing those kettlebells up to that front rack position, similar to the barbell, just different hand position. Feet, again, just outside the shoulders in a good foot stance for a squat. And then the body's going to be doing the same points of performance as with the barbell. Breaking at the hips, descending back and down, letting those hips get below the tops of the quad, and then driving with that front rack up and high with a tall chest. Again, good long range of motion. Now with independent equipment, definitely be careful, lower the weight back down to the ground. If you are new to front squatting or even squatting with independent equipment, you might want to try squatting, say, with even just one kettlebell and or dumbbell. A way to do this is by holding into a goblet squat position. This time you're holding that kettlebell and or, say, piece of equipment in that center hold position, but your body mechanics are doing the same things. Again, breaking the hips, descending back and down, holding that single item in a center hold position. So some other squats that you will see in training is either split squats or what some people call Bulgarian squats. So with this, we're going to demonstrate it with 2 pieces of equipment, but it could equally be done with just one. But we'll demonstrate it with 2. The first thing we'll do is a split squat. And this is essentially going to be like a lunged position where the athlete would take a step forward with a piece of equipment in each hand, descend down to let that knee gently touch the ground, and then extend back up in a stationary position. And again, doing so many reps or whatever your workout calls for to one side, and then stepping forward, switching your foot position, and then getting the same amount of reps on the other side of the body. Some things to note is definitely don't keep your feet in what we call a tightrope position where it's one foot directly behind the other. Try and keep that wide open base for stability. Now, talking about stability, let's talk about Bulgarian squats. This is where you're actually bringing a foot to an elevated position, say a bench, or maybe just a box that you might have at home, where again, you're descending into a squat using one leg drive to get to that standing position. So the athlete with pieces of equipment, again, lowering their body down to a depth that's comfortable for them, but keeping one foot to an elevated position. And then again, equal number of reps on both sides to balance that strength development. Again, stability is key, so use weights that's appropriate, that you feel comfortable with good stability through the range of motion. So this has been a brief overview of some basic squatting. Definitely talk to your coach if you have any questions or concerns about your program and how to use these effectively.